I love this. It basically stays there-ish until you're out of gas. Very optimistic. Come on. Hello and welcome to the shop. I'm Jared and this is the Questionable Garage. And I've got a problem.
This is Houston. Say again, please.
I've got a problem. Well, I think I have about 16 problems actually, and I kind of don't know how to get through it all. We're working on it, but that problem is I've got way too many cars and projects going on. My shop's a mess. My knee's busted up, but I owe it to all of you guys. Let's kind of go over everything we've got going on, remind you guys, and I want to give you guys a big update, but we're not just talking. We're going to wrench on several of them today as well. You're going to get a little bit of everything. Plus, I guess the state of the fleet. Everyone's been doing them lately. First and foremost, EV1, Billy's EV1, the only privately owned legal EV1. We're waiting on some parts. We're waiting on Grant with I'm sorry, Grant. You've told me my brain doesn't work that well. The dry ice and laser cleaning. He has been teasing a lot on his social media. I can't wait to pick it up because the car, the chassis looks brand new. They have put in way above and beyond. Looks amazing. Restoration's going great. Ferrari truck. We talked about it a little bit in the last episode. One, I got way too much junk that some of it's listed for sale. Some of it I just need to find better organization and storage for. Ferrari truck. We need to build custom control arms. I've got some parts from QA1 to get that done. We need to build an exhaust, finish up a little bit of wiring, and then it's ready to go. So I really need to get onto that. Sport satellite. Need, don't need, I want, at this point, I probably should have done it a long time ago, a rotisserie. It is a giant apparatus that allows me to spin the car 360 degrees, get full access to everything. It needs a little bit more metal work. We need to finish the engine build, and then it's time to, I need to pick a paint color. I've done some different paint cards, different whites. There's a gray that I kind of like. The big problem with using modern colors on classic cars, it doesn't always look right. I'd love to see some of your opinions of what colors you like. Not quite a battleship gray, that's kind of overdone. There's a really pretty metallic silver. Metallics are a problem if you ever need to correct it. The white's pretty classic, but do we do this creamy white? Do we do a bright white? I don't know. Hiding away in that corner, there's a big go-kart chassis. Travis Bell, he has a lot of trucks here. He actually scooped that up for me. He used to host a fun event, the Backyard 400. A bunch of grown men got on go-karts and raced around his walking path. And it was a great time. And he found me a cart I could fit in. And I was building it and prepping it. Neighbors kind of put a kibosh to that. And it's not been a big priority. But I've got about $500 worth of parts. So eventually we're going to build a fun racing go-kart. Also in that corner, yeah, it's JP's truck still here. This was the one part episode truck where we were going to just get it up and running and then found everything wrong with it. We did the unveil at the show. Transmission wasn't working and there's a couple small flaws. Got it back here. Then lost my mom, got in an accident. Like it's lemony snicket series of unfortunate events. That's been life. Thankfully, Kevin's been super appreciative and patient with me, but that's the first truck we're going to work on, or first car sitting around here. Obviously, the joke's been one episode series, and I think we're going to end up with 4 total on it, but we are going to get this transmission pulled apart, and we're going to get it torn completely down so we can figure out what on earth is wrong with it. Sometimes it kind of worked, sometimes it didn't. Fluid looked good. Really problematic. So let's get that transmission pulled. We got a friend coming to help do that. We'll get that out, get it on the table, and let's tear down a TH400. You know what's really complicated and kind of should be? Automatic transmissions. You know what's really complicated but shouldn't be? saving money on your mobile phone plans. But thanks to today's sponsor, Mint Mobile, they've got you covered. Now listen, if you're not familiar with what Mint Mobile is, they are trying to revolutionize the way you get your cell phone plan. No hidden fees, no confusing numbers. You don't walk in, sign up for a plan, and then somehow your bill is $30 more. It doesn't make sense, but Mint Mobile does. With clear upfront pricing and fully detailed fees, you know exactly what you're going to be paying. Now, how does it work? Mint has fully reimagined the way you get your cell phone plan. No paying for expensive stores. It is fully online. And they're all about premium wireless without the premium price. All plans include unlimited talk and text on the nation's largest 5G network. Plus, it includes free international calling to Mexico, Canada, and the UK. And Mint Mobile has the data plans that fit your need. You're not forced into buying something you're never gonna use. And the best part with Mint Mobile, the holidays don't end in December. They've extended their holiday sale for a limited time where you're gonna be able to save 50% off on the unlimited plan. And that's off all their tiers. It's $15 a month for a 3-month plan, 6-month plan, or 12-month plan. You can lock in a full year of wireless service for 50% off. So scan that QR code, click the link in the description box below and in that pinned comment, and take a look at Mint Mobile. They're reimagining the entire way cell phone service works, and thanks to their imagination, you're saving a lot of money. Thank you again, Mint Mobile, for sponsoring this episode. We found bad, but nothing terminal.
Yeah, nothing looks like terribly exploded or in too many pieces.
That seal, big black one, I just washed my hands, so I don't want to touch it because it's like 3 washes to get transmission, especially gross transmission fluid off your hand. But also inside the pump, more evidence of it was rebuilt and then sat. Just there's rust. So, do you have a TH400 master kit in the back of your Scion?
Actually, no, I don't.
You don't. You know what I
keep them in stock.
But guess what I got sitting all the way on the shelf right behind my race helmet there?
What's that?
A 727 master set.
That's
not helpful at all. That is going to get us nowhere. So,
time to order parts?
I guess I'm going to shoot a factor ad and feed James. The factor ad, I think, is actually going to be before this video. So, just how filming works.
The magic.
You knew I had a factor ad to shoot. That's where you're like, hey, what are you doing today?
I heard there was delicious food coming.
And then I'm going to order some parts, and we will put this back together. I still have a dashboard dilemma, but this should fix the speedometer drive, because I found a problem with that. It'll fix our methane erratic shifting problems.
It should definitely shift better.
Then there's a fuel sending unit. And then I can finally finish this 1-episode series.
It was a quick one, yeah. Quick little refresh. No, it wasn't. So, I made a call. I know the 727, that International Harvester, the Dodge, used very well. The 400 is not a complicated transmission, but there's just enough funky that I don't know that we've got that transmission at a shop right now to get it right. This truck has to be perfect for me to be happy, so I passed it off. Also, just it's hard for me to stand up long periods of time, so gotta wait on that. And again, us in the South are getting blasted by cold, and I know you Northerners like to poke fun at us, but I'd like to see you drive on solid sheets of ice. The hill at my house, we had a 1/4-inch ice layer on it. Nothing's going to drive well on that. But something else we can do, this trans crossmember, when I pulled it out, it kind of sort of got cleaned some and repainted some, but very filthy. I want to do some fun with it. I want to repaint it, but we're not going to sandblast it or do anything like that. My XTool Metal Fab, they released a new laser cleaner attachment for the laser
that took it from okay to pretty awesome. So I'm gonna get all that turned on. We're gonna show you that, and then dirt and all. We're just gonna make that bare, perfect, and brand new, ready for paint. So like I said, we're not just talking. We're working a whole lot, hopefully. Although I do talk a lot, like now. Jared, I'll see you outside. Check it out. So they have a whole new focusing system and set up there with a distance gauge to make sure you're aiming it just right. And the cleaning function has gone through the roof. So I'm gonna push a couple more buttons on that machine and let's go get that thing cleaned up. All right, let's get this blasted. Notice you don't even have to worry about the dirt. Burning through the dirt, the paint, the rust. It's just so amazing how this little attachment revolutionized the rust cleaning, paint cleaning. So right there, you got dirt, you got tar, you got oil and rocks. Yeah, that'll do real nice for a fresh coat of paint. Does need to cool off a little bit before I grab it with my hands. It does put some heat into it. But while we're outside, let's hit all these cars. Roadblock, you know, we're up for an alignment. Maybe we'll do that as a small insert. I don't know that we need another full episode. Lexus, again, pretty much just on me. Motor's been blown up forever. I'm torn. Do we just do max effort stock block? I've got a 6-liter we can re-gap the piston rings on now and get it back together. Also, fingers crossed, if you're anywhere near North Georgia, they might bring back the Atlanta Dragway, which would be huge. I used to go there a fair bit, almost all the time. The wife and I had regular date nights there. So getting this thing back up and running would be amazing. I just need to push this in the shop. Honda Rousey. We've got our rear sheet metal. I got to fabricate some. We got to fabricate a roof and get back going. The diesel going into it. I need to get a new cam, put all of that together. I mean, it's just, I've got too much stuff. That's on me. Tahoe doing great. Powder keg doing great. Both of these don't need a thing. Porsche. Another one of my bright ideas. It's still a great idea. Just money. Need 5,000-ish in parts and 5,000 worth of cylinder head work, or do I get a $10,000 used engine? Obviously, we're trying to make this the maximum resale value, so full, fresh everything is better. But do you guys want to see 2 episodes, 3 episodes potentially, rebuilding a Porsche engine? I do really want to get together. One other small problem is if I do get it together, the wife might try to steal it. That's one of her favorite cars when she comes to the shop. Wedding Super, we've talked about this a whole lot. Incredibly important to me. I make a lot of excuses. I'm 100% capable in building it, but I sometimes kind of doubt myself. I've got the engine. Maybe while we're doing light duty work, we'll get the cylinder head built. I'll see if the machine shop will let me come in and we'll build the cylinder head so we can have the 1,000 horsepower heart fully assembled for this, and then it'll be time. Rebuild the trans tunnel, pick the trans for sure that's going in it, and then paint and body. That's one that can come together pretty quickly. Johnny Rev runs, LS3 needs a tune. Suspension annoys the heck out of me. So QA1 has sent out some front coilovers so we can actually raise the front, and I've got a universal 4-link from them so we can get that rear down a little bit. I'm really excited to work on this thing. I need my lift though, which means I need to get the Ferrari truck. Have most all the parts for it. Also, we're gonna redo the exhaust on it. The downturn street sweeper exhaust, a lot of fun, incredibly obnoxious. Also, while it borrowed powder keg's top just to sit on it, I kind of want to find a long bed, old aluminum top from the 70s for it because it kind of looks cool to me. 71 Scout 800B, fuel injection conversion. I need to do a fuel pump, clutch, maybe some 1-ton axles, maybe really build this thing up pretty cool. It's a T19 Texas bolt pattern Dana 300, little baby 30s and 40 in the rear. So we can do some real big axles, make this a cool off-roader. It's also kind of hard because we've got the Ram Charger, which we'll get to. We're gonna be wrenching on that. That's kind of hard to figure it all out. E30 BMW. Now this thing, I really like the CarTrek E30. Did me really well in Bristol, but was giving me some computer problems. Gone drifting with it multiple times. It's done really well. I've got it stripped completely down. And the reason that happened is I had an EFI company reach out and want to work together. They didn't have universal applications yet. I explained all of my signal types, the type of crank signal we had, the sensors, everything it needed to do. Marketing guy reaches out, engineers said, yes, absolutely, it can do all of those things. We get the system and it can't do anything. If it's not their bolt-on option, it can't do it. And they're essentially saying it's my fault and I don't know how to do EFI and custom EFI, despite this is the engineers and the company, not the marketing guy. He's actually a good friend, but that I don't know what I'm doing. And I don't know custom EFI and I don't understand EFI. Ignoring all of the years of experience, I wanted to do this because you guys are always like, Jared, you only do Holly. So I was trying to do something other than Holly. Meanwhile, we got that Holly to run on a Ferrari that was never fuel injected for Car Wizard. But I don't know what I'm doing. So I need an EFI system for this. All the wiring's been pretty much ripped out of it and we're going almost a little bit more dedicated full race car. Big reason is the more I went under the skirt of the E30, the less nice it became. Tyler kind of he got taken advantage of by that dealer, but he needed a car for CarTrek. Escalade is in huge limbo. It has now been we're 2.5 months, still fighting. Lawyers, insurance commissioner complaints. Ice is still melting everywhere. It's a mess. They were trying to use a comp to establish value for a vehicle that you could see the interior from the outside from the rust. It has been an event. It has been a process. I don't like insurance. I'm grateful that my insurance company's good and I could move this and claim it on mine, but thankfully I'm in a situation where we can just ride this out. But for so many people, they just have to take their first claim offer because they don't know there's any level of arguments or fights or needless to say, I don't like insurance companies right now and I don't think you guys do either. A tree had crushed it. It's just sitting here. It's not mine. It's just we haven't moved it back. Someone might buy the engine. It's just not worth building. It's a cool truck. I spent a lot of money putting brakes back under it and everything, getting it running, but it doesn't have a future. It's just sitting in the yard. Parts car. O'Reilly Auto Parts. I love them. We have an amazing build for this. It was supposed to be done last year. Then, fourth quarter of 2025 happened, which was about the worst that I've experienced, but thankfully, we still have the Daihatsu Hi-Jet that we're going to call the Daihatsu Tri-Jet. It's about all I'll get into on that build teaser. Ram Charger parts, I could put the roof on. ISF, I want this back. Some of you guys know the car, some of you don't. Has a 5-liter V8 shoved in it from the factory. It's the first direct lockup torque converter transmission, 8-speed auto. It's amazing. And it's been broken for a really long time. I'm gonna pop the hood. I've got, well, maybe I can pop the hood, let's see. Okay, gosh, this poor paint. This is one where I got really angry and just quit looking at it. If you notice, intake, that's taken off of it. Story time on this one. It had a battery from not an O'Reilly Auto Parts, having lots of problems with it. They refused to honor the warranty on it unless I brought the car there with the battery in it. Really annoying, but I'm like, fine, whatever, I'll do that. I shouldn't have, because the problem with the battery is it had a bad cell that would like open and close, and it was doing all kinds of weird voltage things. And somehow we ended up at a massive voltage spike. It fried what's called the power source ECU. So I got a new battery in it from O'Reilly. Would crank, would power up, but it was dead. Tons of electrical problems. The power source control ECU was blowing. I could not diagnose anything without a good one in there. It would last about 10 seconds before it would blow. So I had to buy a bunch of them. I went through 10 to get to this point at $110 each off of eBay. So it's been sitting for a bit because it costs a lot of money for me to not get much of anywhere. But we got to the point where everything was kind of diagnosed down, and we were down to a fuel pressure sensor, which was buried under the intake manifold. Pulled the intake manifold, and I discovered we had a valley plate leak. Not uncommon on this engine. Started to get ready to fix the valley plate leak, and a couple of the high pressure injectors broke. So I was in a position where I now needed to order a ton of parts, which I've done. I've got about $800 in parts coming for this, between injectors, sensors. A lot of it's coming from Japan because you couldn't get them in the US, even though this, at any rate, we've got a lot of parts coming. So we're going to have the ISF back in the shop and back running soon, which I am actually really excited about. I love this car. Everyone on the Dust Ball Rally loves this car. There's no reason not to. Looks amazing. We need to get the good wheels back on it now that Tryhard's not borrowing them. So that's the status on the ISF, and now we're gonna walk up to Big Green, the Ram Charger. And one of the most questionable things I've done in a very long time. If you remember, we got this from our friend Matthew. He basically was moving, it had to go. He'd been restoring it, working on it for years, and was like, hey, if you can get it running, whatever, get it out of my shop, it's yours. So James and I drove down there, and over the course of about 6 hours, we got it running and then driving. We took it to Waffle House for the first test drive, and then I drove it 300 miles home. I thought he had driven it before he started the restoration. He didn't. He bought it, got it to the house, and tore it all apart. So quite literally, its first drive was 300 miles home. Did it amazing. No real problems other than the suspension was terrible. Rough Country and I worked together. We've got a good proper lift kit on it, good suspension geometry. We took it off-roading. It's been great. Really not much wrong with it, but all the aftermarket gauges don't work. Someone stole the gas cap, so I got to change the fuel out. Need to change the oil, and the voltage regulator failed, so it's charging at 19 volts. So we're gonna wrench on this. We're gonna get a good voltage regulator in it. I'm just gonna change the oil, and then we're gonna install a set of those cheap River gauges. You get them off the River website, and we'll talk about some of the steps on that, because there's a road trip coming up soon where a group of friends and I like to reenact Smokey and the Bandit, and no windows, no top, no heat. This is the one I picked. Now, to be fair, the reason this one got picked is when it came time to try to start everything up, that was appropriate. This was completely covered in ice, has not started since November, and it fired right up. And was happy to run. So it's saying it wants to go, as it's still thawing. But enough yakking. Let's get our charging system put back together. Let's get our gauges installed and wrap up the state of the fleet. I know these aren't always the most fun, but that's why I wanted to work on the cars some too, not just talk about everything. Appreciate you guys kind of being understanding and working with me while I'm hobbling around and not able to go 110% with my knee right now. I really can't wait to get back to it because I got way too many problems. Also, I need to do a scrapyard run. You know, over there's it's a lot. But good news is we're in a new year. We have a positive outlook on everything coming forward, and hopefully I can't lose my mom again, because I think that's a one-time ordeal. and it's just continued healing there. So enough sadness. Let's get back to wrenching, because we've already got one transmission torn apart. Now we need to get a truck ready for 1,300 miles for some nice frosty beer. I forgot one other vehicle, very important, the Cub Cadet. Well, obviously the Cub is outside, but this is its starter generator, and it quit starter rating, and the brushes had gone bad. They kind of fell apart. That wasn't making good contact. So I have a new set of springs and bearings coming, so we can go back through, fully clean that, make sure that is nice and clean, new bearings, and get this back together so we can get our nice little push tractor back up to life. That's a very handy thing to have, and I kind of miss it. So we got that coming too. But I'll probably just do that, unless there's a lot of you that really want to see a starter generator get rebuilt or refurbished. I won't call it rebuilt. So, alrighty. Well, here are beautiful Riversite gauges. You know, the design's not awful. I'm not going to bother hooking up the amp meter gauge. All I care about was having the ability to kind of know what oil pressure and coolant temp might be. So these are all mechanical. This has to run through the firewall. There's already one of these probes mounted in the engine bay, but at some point the wire got cut. Also, if you're going with these cheap gauges, copper. Get copper wire. Yeah, it's kind of annoying because you can't shorten it on some of these. Some of these you can. This one is a fixed length, but plastic will break. Copper is much less likely to do that, because if that breaks, then you're spraying oil everywhere. Here is our voltage regulator. So one thing I did is I brought the alternator. It was brand new, had it tested, it's working perfect, and it regulates when you're asking it to regulate. The old one of these went bad, and it was running 19 volts, which honestly, the ignition box can handle 19 volts. The bulbs would eventually go bad, but I want it working correctly. You know, it's kind of a longer road trip, so we'll get this popped back in. We'll get the alternator back on, and then I think for gauges, I'm thinking for mounting, even though that's been modified and I could put them there, I honestly think we're just going to do zip ties in there. The other really big reason I'm not too bent on making perfect gauge mounting right now, I've got a 6BT from the Car Wizard to put in this, a turbo diesel. Different gauge requirements altogether. So I'm not really putting that much effort to get these in, and I don't know that I'll look at them, because they're only going to tell me bad news, right? Right? Anyway, we'll set up. And also don't feel bad. I've got to stand on a stool to work on this thing too. We'll get this put back together and get some gauges run, fire it back up. I'm excited. I hope the rest of that ice melts out here soon. All right. Oh, like I said, don't ever feel bad. Everyone at some point's got to climb up into something. Also, I need to find the oil pressure sending unit. Is it? There we go. I think if it's like my other Mopar, it's gonna be like there. Like, you see my finger? There. Hi. Yeah, there you go. I'm sorry. Oil that came out of it didn't look too terrible bad. One thing I also am gonna do, we reran the alternator wire to fix the problem, but it was kind of toasty at one point. Makes me realize for a long trip, I'm probably going to grab some of my heat sleeve and just put a little barrier against that, you know. Blowing the engine, while not fun and very inconvenient, because I would have to get a broken truck home from somewhere. Even found it yet. I keep looking around trying to confirm the location of our thought there were some other spots I could tap off. I know some of these you can get your signal from down near the oil filter. Not on this one. I didn't see any down there. You know, a big giant off-road truck with big giant off-road tires. That's the perfect highway vehicle. I will say, ever since getting the suspension fixed on it, so we're not, you know, in such murder territory of improperly built suspension, it actually has been kind of pleasant to drive on the highway. It's amazing when you don't feel like you're constantly about to die, you can kind of enjoy driving your vehicle. Oh, okay. Plug this in. I'll triple check with my, took a picture before pulling that down too, just to make sure. Here's one on the inside. Reconnect this, and then in theory we could put power, but we'll wait until I actually put oil back in it. Boop, boop, boop. Remember, when you're tightening your alternator, tight, you know, like your power line, tight, but not gorilla. Maybe power steering could use a tiny tighten up. And then the real fun of trying to figure out the dang oil pressure. Like, the coolant's easy. We'll show you that in just half a second. But, all right. Hopefully that's charging system fixed. Like I said, this is just a whole lot of little tweaks for the day. You know, pulling that out probably won't hurt. Help me see a little bit more. Oh, that's fun. Oh, no, thank you, my daubers. I don't need you on my air filter. Oh, there is a little plug right there we can tap into. I'm just curious. This should have had a factory gauge, so I'm going to look a tiny bit more in a couple other little spots. Find a new vacuum cap, because that one's not capping anymore. Oh, wow. What is this? Huh. The exhaust crossover got so hot it melted the harness. Peculiar. Let me show you guys. Look at that. Yeah. Well, that is where the coolant will go. And right there, you see that see distributor, you see that little square fitting there? That might be where we're going for oil pressure. Whee, that's gonna be easy. You know, when you have a simple plan in mind, I should have hit record just because I made some funny sounds, but got that connected. We have our coolant connected. Now, a fun trick, if you don't have square sockets to drive out these plugs, if you get one of these universal tap tools, if there's enough room, that's for a square drive. Works absolutely perfect. I was able to set that size and pull that from the back just perfectly fine. But if you remember, I said I'm just gonna zip tie the gauges right there. You know, rather than do what I said and would take 10, 15 minutes, I spent an hour. And it shouldn't have taken an hour, but it did. Now, I didn't put the lights on. That's too much. At nighttime, if either of those are giving me bad information, I don't want to know. What is it? That's just negativity. Let's see. Does it still start? We got some I love this. It basically stays there-ish until you're out of gas. Very optimistic. Come on. this Edelbrock, so it's, anytime it sits, it leaks down. There we go. Oh, it's trying. I might need multiple hands. Here. Watch from the busted up seat cover, maybe. There we go. Uh-oh. It is cold-natured. See, that's why I feel like oil pressure should maybe be a little higher than that. Yeah, I did just change the oil, but cold, 1540, you know, 42 psi cold, really cold, but 1540, that's fine. See, I just knew all that could do is give me bad information. See, look, 60 psi. That's totally fine. I don't know what I was worried about. That's exactly what it should be. It's just, it's got to get its bones moving. It's old. It definitely gets a lot happier once it's warm. It just doesn't like being cold. And encouraging news, it isn't spraying oil there. I need to figure out where I knocked that. So far, coolant is also where it belongs. All good things, all good things. I guess, technically, that'll do it. I need to put a gas cap on it and put an air filter in it. That's done and sure enough ready for 1,300 miles. Definitely a questionable garage, but I have fun doing it and I hope you guys have fun watching it. I still got a couple more things to do. We got to get this to Dwayne, and I really hope you guys enjoyed kind of the update on the fleet. Let me know what project you want to see more than anything else. Realize the EV1, we're stuck on certain milestones that I don't have direct control of, but we are working on it as fast as possible and as much as possible, because that's got to be done in November. Beyond that, we've got the fleet of broken dreams, but we're going to get through all of them. We're going to get them running. And believe it or not, I'm being responsible. I've had some amazing project opportunities come up and we've said no. I have enough. It's hard to do, but I'm Jared, reminding you guys to always make questionable choices. And it's okay to take a little bit longer. Just don't give up on a project. We'll see you later.